All right, so we're outside now. We got the smoker set at 225 degrees. That's the perfect temperature that I want to cook this brisket at. One of the most important things though is that I put in a little water pan to make sure that I keep some extra moisture and keep the brisket from drying out. What I'll do is I take the thickest end of the brisket and I want that to be pointing towards the heat source of my smoker to prevent it from drying out. Take my probe and I'll insert it into the thickest part of the brisket, because that's gonna be the temperature that I need to know that that thing's gonna be cooked to the right degree. And once I close it, I'm not gonna open it again. Every time you're opening it and checking it, you're letting heat out, you're letting moisture out, and you're just prolonging the process of cooking that brisket until it's done and perfect. All right, so our brisket's been on for about 5 hours now, but much more important than the time is the temperature. Our temperature finally hit 185, so at that point, it's time to take the brisket off and wrap it up. And the whole purpose of wrapping it is to help keep that moisture in, so the brisket has a chance to really cook until it's tender and still stay moist and very juicy. So you could look here. Looks amazing. We've got some really nice color on the brisket throughout. You can see the bark is built up really, really beautifully, and it smells amazing. So I've got over here a little bit of butcher paper lined up. And now if you don't have butcher paper, you could alternately use aluminum foil, but the wrapping is really, really an essential part in excellent finished brisket. Put my probe back in. Now that we've got the probe in, we're looking for it to come up to 205 degrees. At that point, it'll get nice and tender, and that'll be the perfect brisket. So we got our brisket off the grill. One of the most important things now is to make sure that it rested, which it did for about a good 30 minutes. This also gives the meat a chance for all the juices to relax and redistribute throughout the brisket. I'm gonna open up the butcher paper here. It reached 205 degrees, so it's nice and tender and it's ready to be sliced. Now looking at the brisket, there's obviously, it's a little bit longer this way and shorter this way. You wanna slice lengthwise. So from here, I'll start out with the outside. Nice long, smooth strokes. And there we go. One of the most important parts about slicing this way is we're cutting against the grain. The actual grain of the meat is moving. Now with all these tips, you should be able to smoke a brisket at home for your friends and family and make it as beautiful as this one.